Welcome to our beautiful show, the Yaba TV show. My name is Sia, your host. Today is a one-on-one special with Otieno Jeffrey Okach, a Kenyan-American. Otieno Jeffrey Okach is a child of the continent of Africa, a child of African diaspora, who is really interested in restoring the traditional greatness. When you say traditional greatness, there are several ways, but you will get to find out more about that when you listen to our show, you watch this show today, because Otieno will give you an interest to want to step up out of your comfort zone to go to Africa, to Kenya, to find out what all Kenyan people are all about, the love, the passion, so you can experience that as well. So today we have much more to offer you. So don't touch your dial. Tell everybody you know about our beautiful show, the Yaba TV show. Welcome back to our lovely show, the Yaba TV show. My name is Sia, your host. Today, my show is exclusive. I have Otieno Jeffrey Okach, a Kenyan-American, who is so much in love with the motherland, Africa. So we are going to have a moment to talk to Otieno, and I'm excited about this show. I can't wait to hear what he has to say. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the time and you having me here. I'm so proud of the work that you do, and so I'm honored that you invited me.
Thank you, thank you. So our audience that are watching this show, I'm sure some of them, they are curious to know who Otieno Jeffrey Okach is. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I appreciate that question. I think I like to start with where I've come from. I was born in Kansas. I have three principal influences I like to think of when I think of myself, where I come from, and that would be my mother. My mother comes from an old family from America, Scottish-American principally, that traces their roots through the American Revolution, including my sixth great-grandfather, John Montgomery, who served in the American Revolutionary War. On my father's side, my father's from Kenya, Western Kenya. He's a Luo. And he went with a little over 1,000 more of his brothers and sisters from the continent of Africa in 1960, 61, 62, in what was called then the African Airlift, just like Barack Obama's father. And they came to America and other countries, and that's where my mother met my father. The third influence definitely would be my stepfather. My father passed away when I was a boy, and my mother remarried an African-American man. And so I'm definitely an American with those experiences from being born here, having an African father, and the African-American culture as well.
So you're truly a child of the soil.
That's
bridging
right.
that gap. You stand right there in the middle.
Right there in the middle,
All
for
right.
sure.
Bravo.
Yes, yes.
And I know you're also a businessman. Your company, Pals Inc.
Yes.
Congratulations for your
you.
success.
Thank you.
You've been doing it for some time.
Yes.
You have employees, and the company is doing phenomenal. Let's talk about that.
Yes. Well, I've been the owner of Pals Inc., for a little over 20 years. And I started out, my stepfather is a clinical psychologist, and I started out working for him. And over the years, I moved up to being an owner. And what I do is I provide services for people with developmental disabilities. And I love it. It's a lot of fun. We've got over 100 full-time employees providing services for people from Santa Barbara to El Monte, to Simi Valley, to Hawthorne, to Long Beach. And it's a lot of fun. We primarily work with people who have a history of trauma.
Oh, wow.
And so we deal with a lot of folks who've gone through something in their childhood or adulthood and have some need for, at the foundation, a loving environment.
Yes, and you provide that for them.
We provide that. And then we begin on the path to recovery and restructuring some responses to the environment. And so that's what I do. And the company is called Pals, and we have a lot of fun with it.
Let me take you back to Kenya. The very first time you stepped your feet on the soil of the continent of Africa, Kenya for that matter.
Yes.
How did you feel?
It was amazing. You know, growing up in America, having the name Otieno Okach, I was always ready for it. In, you know, the first day of school in roll call, they would start to.
But where are you from, huh?
They would stop. The teacher would literally stop when they got to the N's or the O's, and I would know they were at my name. And so when I got to Kenya, I remember thinking, now finally my name will fit. And I got on the bus to go back to my father's home in Western Kenya, and I remember hearing on the bus people saying, Otieno, Otieno. And I thought, oh, they're talking to me, but they weren't talking to me.
Oh, wow.
But then later when I would speak,
it's a popular name.
It's a popular name, but you see, my father's people are a beautiful dark black complexion. So when I would tell people my name in Kenya, they said, no, you can't be Otieno.
It's different.
So one of my first experiences is the realization that I am bridging the gap, as you would say. I'm a child of Africa, but also of America. And I don't fully fit any place, but Africa definitely is a place that I have spiritually been drawn to as a cultural home. And so I've gone back many, many times. And I find that's a connection that feels like home.
Okay. We are going to take a break, but when we come back, I'd like to find out the very first food you ate when you were in Kenya.
Wonderful.
So we need to take a quick break to acknowledge our sponsors. When we come back, we will continue with the show. Don't go away. Welcome back to our beautiful show. I like to brag about this show, Yaba TV. There's no show like it. Tell me the truth. Where do you find a grassroots African woman hosting the show on a major network on Channel 13, KCOP? So, Otieno, right?
Yes, absolutely. There's nothing like it.
Yes. So let's talk about when you first went to Kenya, the food that they prepare for you with love, so much passion, and say, welcome.
Yes.
To the motherland.
Yes.
And give you that food. Tell me about it.
Oh, my goodness. It was so special. I went home, and we were eating. I was served a bowl of soup. And in that bowl, you know, they kill a chicken for a special guest, as you're well aware. So I was honored to receive that gift. They killed a chicken, and they cooked it. But, you know, being raised in America, we're not that used to a chicken head in the soup. So when I saw the feet and the head, I said, oh! I was a little bit, I tried to restrain myself, but I remember.
But you couldn't hold it back.
And I always remember just my shock at seeing the feet and the head in the soup. But it was delicious.
Yes, interesting.
Yeah.
So after that moment, when you came back to the U.S., how were you able to express to people that love, that connection you made to Kenya,
yes,
to U.S.? Describe to me how it felt, and what were you able to tell people when you came back to the U.S.?
Yeah, that's a good question, because one of the things I have found is a lot of my African-American brothers and sisters are reticent to go to Africa, and I think they've learned that Africa is a forbidden place. So my positive experiences were something that I tried to communicate frequently, and I've continued to do so. And I'm glad that I've been able to have a couple friends go back with me who previously would tell me things like, oh, I would never go to Africa.
Because that's what they see on most of the mainstream media, saying Africa is like a jungle. And they only focus on the animals. What about us?
Right. I often say that American media never misses a moment to not say something about Africa, you know. So if it's something good, it's usually not on our airwaves. And so people don't get an image. Even now during COVID, Africa's success rates have been tremendous compared to what we've seen in the United States and Europe.
Yes.
But it is very quiet. No positive news.
Well, now we are saying it on Channel 13.
Yes.
it's all out there.
Yes.
So let's talk about, I know you're a family business. What role does your wife play in the business?
My wife plays an integral role. And some people I tell that I work with my wife, they say, oh my goodness, you live with your spouse and you work with them? Whoo, too much. And it's not for everyone, but we work well as a team. And so I think the complementarity helps us because she's strong in areas that I'm not, and so forth. And so I'm really proud of the fact that we've grown the business and run it together. And I feel like I couldn't have done it without her.
And they said behind every successful man, there is a strong woman. She is that strong woman for you.
And she says next to me. She says not behind. So
that's great. Let's talk about your new plan. I know your heartbeat is the African diaspora, restoring the traditional greatness. Let's talk about that greatness. Where is your heart right now going to Africa and connecting with the people in Africa?
Yes. I think my approach is to take several different actions and put them into the whole framework. For instance, I am supporting an endowment at the University of California, Santa Barbara, in the name of my stepfather's mother, who grew up in segregated America. And that is supporting studies in the Black Studies Department at UC Santa Barbara.
Okay.
So I want people here, African Americans particularly, but everyone, to learn about the African experience and the Black experience, at least get an entree to the African experience by just starting with what's here in America. And also I'm working in Africa, in Kenya, to fund initiatives and to try to help our education be stronger and help provide jobs. And so I think with those types of actions, we can begin to put together, not just me, but being a part of many people doing such things.
And it's a well-needed area, help provide jobs.
Provide
because
jobs.
There are people with education with no jobs.
Right.
I mean, they've graduated and looked around and there's nothing for them.
Right. Right.
And that's not so good. But people like you going back to the continent and bridging that gap in financially, I think it will make a difference for the youth.
I hope so.
Yes.
I hope so. We need a lot more. So I'm just one of many that are needed. So definitely the call is out.
Yes. You know, this show, one of the reasons I always brag of this show is bridging the gap between Africans and African Americans. But we also want to bridge the gap with mothers because today is Mother's Day.
Yes.
And they are happen to watch you on screen talking about Africa.
I love you, mothers.
Yes. Send out the message to your wife, too.
Yes. I love you, wife, too.
I want to take the time to acknowledge all the women that are mothers watching our show today.
Yes.
Happy Mother's Day to you from the Yaba TV to you, to your home. We want to thank you so much. Yaba TV want to thank you, Otieno, for coming to the show because I know it's been years I've known you. But before I do my closing remark, I must not forget, people need to reach you. Those that are watching you, how can they reach you?
Yes, so if someone wants to reach me, they can go to my website, www.palsworks.org.
Okay.
They can email me at info@palsworks.org.
Okay.
Those are two great ways, or you can look me up on LinkedIn, and I'd love to communicate with you.
Thank you so much for your time on our show.
Thank you.
We need to take a quick break to acknowledge our sponsors. When we come back, we will wrap up with the show. Don't go away. Did you enjoy the conversation with Otieno Jeffrey Okach? I hope you did, because it was full of information, power-packed. Well, we are on every Sunday at 2 p.m. on Channel 13, KCOP. So tell everybody you know that may have not known about our show yet, tell them that the Yaba TV show is bridging the gap between Africans and African Americans. It's a must show to watch. So don't forget, again, 2 p.m. on Sundays. We will see you next Sunday at the same time on the Yaba TV show, your contemporary bridge to the motherland, Africa.
The prior program was sponsored by Yaba TV.